What's up guys, welcome back. Well, it's finally time. Just got back home from work and I saw a message on Facebook popping up saying or telling me that, well, you know, the ban list is finally or has finally been updated. So let's take a look, right? Haven't seen any changes, so it's, you know, just a surprise for me as well. So let's take a look. The official Konami website, right? Forbidden Element list effective from April 29th. That's within the next couple of days. Next week, updated today. So April 23. Okay, so well, slowly, right? Slowly going down. Let's take a look for now if there are any cards banned. Yep, the first one here, Summon Sorceress. Well, yeah, I think this probably should have happened on the previous ban list. Again, following the OCG, I guess, with the banning on Summon Sorceress, well, with Dark Warrior in the previous format, Summon Sorceress, and of course with Dangers as well. It was one of those cards that, you know, was one of those cards that definitely should have been hit, maybe on our previous list as well. And if I'm looking at the OCG, they do have Needle Fiber, and both Needle Fiber and Summon Sorceress legal in the same format just screams out shenanigans. But them banning Summon Sorceress here at TCG as well is of course quite of a big hit. I'm not looking at the highly competitive or top decks. The first deck that comes to mind is Thunder or Dragons, right? ABCs maybe in some way, but that's pretty much it. Like Thunders do take a huge hit, and I'm looking at other cards like Phantom Sky Blaster. It's not on this, well, at least it's not banned. Right, otherwise it would have been on this list as well, but then banning Summon Sorceress is definitely a good hit, should have been hit previously. The card is just so busted, right? No Rusty Bardish, like from the top of my head, but you know, there are other cards that might get hit instead of Rusty Bardish. So Summon Sorceress, the first card. The second card here, I haven't seen the name, but it's the next seed, so let's take a look. Yeah, Galaxy Ice Dark Matter Dragon, basically following the OCG. We have seen from the PPG tournament from past weekend that the Gandora FTK was still, well, is relevant or was relevant in the TCG, and is again pretty much following the trend in the OCG. So Thunder, well, Dragons, mainly the Dragons do take a huge hit here with Galaxy Ice Dark Matter Dragon being hit, and same for Summon Sorceress. Can I say I'm surprised with Galaxy Ice Dark Matter Dragon being hit? Well, yeah, Guard Dragons take a huge hit, right? But as we saw, or as we have seen in the OCG, the dark, at least the card does a lot, so it doesn't really surprise me. So Summon Sorceress, Dark Matter Dragon. Any other cards here in the Forbidden, or at least on the Forbidden section? Slowly scrolling down, a spell card. Okay, let's take a look. Yes. The Phantom Knights, the rank up magic spell card, magic launch. Yeah, it needed to happen, right? I believe in my Banlist prediction video from a couple of weeks ago, you know, Konami definitely had a couple of options. I'm looking at the PK engine, weaken the PK engine a little bit. I'm looking at, or people mentioned Rusty Bardish, as I mentioned before. Personally, I had Azathoth on there, but yeah, after some thinking, the Phantom Knight spell card, well, keeps Bardish in check, keeps Azathoth still, you know, legal, right? But the fact that the spell card, the rank up spell card, was searchable, directly searchable. There are some outs like, you know, using Twin Twister or Spell and Trap Destruction before your opponent's main phase, so basically shutting down or preventing, or, you know, not give your opponent the chance of going for Azathoth with the rank up spell card. But them hitting the spell card, definitely good, finally a good hit here on this particular list. But other, yeah, you know, Galaxy Ice Dark Matter Dragon, Summon Sorcerers are all definitely good hits. Yeah, so that's basically it. So 3 new cards getting banned: Summon Sorceress, okay, Galaxy Ice Dark Matter Dragon, and the rank up spell card for Phantom Knights. Okay, so cards getting limited. Let's take a look let's take a look at the first new cards. Lady Debug. Okay, this, well, it's basically the Stratos from the deck, right? But them limiting Lady Debug, it wasn't on my radar. It didn't happen in the OCG. I don't think Salmon Grades have been hit in the OCG. I don't think so. I might be mistaken, but Them hitting Lady Debug, of course, is understandable. Upon normal summon is basically a Stratos for any Cyberse, right? And it immediately can turn itself into the rank 1 for Salamangreats. It's very strong search, and this probably tells me again that they are not hitting any Salamangreat card, probably. I'm looking at Gazelle. Well, same in my balanced prediction video, there aren't really too many cards you could hit in Salamangreat. I'm looking at Gazelle, maybe hit their Searcher, their Rota, but that's basically it, next to Lady Debug. So them hitting Lady Debug, oh, that's quite of a surprise, but okay. Definitely understandable. The second card here, yes, well, Phantom Sky Blaster, of course, right? In Link format, cards like Scapegoat, Grinder Golem, all these cards have been hit or have been, you know, dealt by the ban list or, you know, limited or banned or whatever. It was just a matter of time, as mentioned in multiple videos before, that Phantom Sky Blaster would take the hit as well. The card is so busted, so strong, especially with dangers giving you free bodies, free beat sticks on the field, and then just use your normal summon for Phantom Sky Blaster, giving you free tokens, screams, like, you know, it definitely had to be limited, if not banned. Well, limited, I get it's fine. Phantom Sky Blaster is, of course, a very strong card, and just limiting it is just fine, but still seems like a sacky card. But anyway, so two, okay, good hits. Let's take a look. We see a few, a Link monster, okay, Kagari. Yeah, same as in the OCG, right? Sky Striker, Ace Kagari, the same trend in the OCG, but depends, right? As we saw when Kagari was first limited in the OCG, we saw that Sky Strikers were still very much relevant back over there or back there because of Pot of Avarice. Pot of Avarice, if I'm not mistaken, is at 3 in the OCG, and up until this point, I don't think Pot of Avarice will get, you know, will get unbanned. And Pot of Avarice was quite crucial to get back or send back those, you know, that one copy of Kagari back to your extra deck. So, ooh, this is quite of a huge blow to Sky Strikers, since again, as we see in the most recent OCG metagame breakdowns, is that Sky Strikers have been falling down. They have been losing favor to other decks, like Salamangreats, Thunders, for example, and other decks, of course. So them hitting Kagari, yeah, whatever, right? What other cards can you hit? Well, there are definitely other cards, but, you know, Kagari was definitely one of those. Other cards, let's take a look, slowly scrolling down. Any spell card? Nope. Any trap card maybe? So no Salamangreat spell limitation. No traps. Okay, so a couple of cards getting limited. Kagari, Phantom Sky Blaster, and Lady Debug. So only 3 cards. So up until this point, only Sky Strikers taking a hit. A big hit. Quite of a big hit. And dragons. Thunder dragons or dragons in general, right? Hitting the Gandora FTK as well here for us TCG players. Okay, so scrolling down a bit further, limited, yeah, we had that before. Semi-limitation, let's take a look. Super polymerization, okay, that's interesting, but again, it's basically the same as in the OCG. If I'm not mistaken, super polymerization is also at 2 in the OCG, a very strong side tech card, Super Poly, and the fact that now we finally in the TCG have this card back at 2. Again, is quite interesting, especially in the mirror matches. I'm looking at Salamangreat, for example. So Super Poly sitting or giving, or Konami giving back Super Poly at least at 2. Definitely a very interesting one. Might be again a very popular card. Probably not in the main deck, depends on the format, but definitely are probably in the side deck. So that's basically it for semi-limitation. Let's take a look. Miscellaneous SORCERESS. Oh, this is interesting for dinosaurs. What's limited? Miscellaneous SORCERESS. This is fantastic for dinosaurs. I'm looking at, well, from the top of my head, maybe Shadol dinos or you know, just regular dinosaurs. Oh, I'm going to try this one out. Fantastic, fantastic. Miscellaneous SORCERESS was limited, but now finally back to 3. Not really sure how many copies are allowed in the OCG, but yes, I'm definitely going to try this one out, probably today. Yep, definitely miscellaneous. Alright, so that's basically it. Okay, quite of an interesting list. Salmon grade sea pretty much seem untouched, other than Lady Debug, of course. Dragons are taking a huge hit. Big difference between the OCG, right, with them having Tempest legal. But you know, Summon Sorceress, definitely a good hit. I'm looking at Galaxy Ice Dark Matter Dragon, yup, definitely a solid hit. Sky Strikers took a hit with Kagari 2-1, and well, that's of course quite of a big hit if you're looking at the OCG as well. But yeah, quite interesting how Sky Strikers is going to recover from that. It might still be super meta relevant, right? Definitely a very strong deck, still has a lot of shenanigans up its sleeves, but yeah, whatever, right. The Phantom Knight spell card, also a very good hit, right, as it got shenanigans out of the way, and the PK engine artist has been left untouched again. But other than that, yeah, Phantom Sky Blaster, generic token support, and yeah, okay, so Dinosaurs, definitely a very solid comeback. Interesting to see how that is going to, you know, impact them as a potential top tier deck again. Okay, I'm off to testing. Do you have any suggestions again? Like always, feel free to let me know. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks so much, and feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.